Let me start this video by clarifying something. The community post that I was referring to in the AI news video caused questions like, why do we care? But the post itself was showing who is replacing David Traub, and I didn't make that clear when I was talking about the post that I made on the community wall. So, just to be clear, the post I made was about his replacement, not David Traub. But the reason we care is the same message as in the AI news video, because he's the one who told all of the news media that there was actual video footage of Karen Read hitting John O'Keefe. I apologise for the confusion, but let's hope his replacement behaves better. It also seems I may have confused some of you by posting a picture of Beth, and I hate to point it out again, but it may be because some of you have an aversion to social media that you don't know who Beth is. Back on day 3 of the trial, I spotted her coaching a witness. So I screen grabbed it and posted it on X and tagged David Yannetti. And that was the last we saw of Beth until Dateline. Before we get to Dateline though, let's have a look at how she was coaching the witness on day 3 of Karen's trial. I'll explain afterwards exactly who she is, but this is who we're focusing on. Watch her body language.
Good morning, Ms. McLaughlin.
Morning.
You responded to the call of an unresponsive male in the snow at 34 Fairview. That was the address you recalled, correct?
Correct.
The house you just looked at, that is in fact 34 Fairview, right?
Correct.
As Mr. O'Keefe was being transported by ambulance, you were instructed by firefighter Flamati to get information about the victim from Karen Read, correct?
He wasn't being transported by the ambulance at that time. He was on the stretcher, and Tony, who was at the head of the stretcher, asked me to get information from Miss Read about the patient, but he wasn't being transported in the ambulance at that time.
Who's Tony?
Firefighter Flamati.
Got it.
All right, so Ms. McLaughlin, Mr. Jackson's going to be allowed to ask you questions outside the presence of the jury, and you're still under oath and you have to answer them truthfully, okay?
Okay.
Just briefly as a predicate, when you stepped out, I just want to make sure we're very clear. Did you have a conversation with anybody from the Commonwealth between the time you walked out of court and just now?
Just about if I needed a drink of water or to use the restroom.
Okay, but nothing about the substance of your testimony?
No.
Ms. McLaughlin, I asked you before we broke if you know who Caitlin Albert is.
Yes.
You said that you went to high school with somebody by that name, correct?
Yes.
You in fact know that person as a friend, correct?
I know her.
She's more than an acquaintance.
I would say she's an acquaintance. She's not a close friend.
Do you know any of Caitlin's siblings?
No.
You don't know Brian Albert Jr.?
No.
Do you know of any of her extended family that might be a little closer in age to you, like Colin Albert?
No.
You ever met any of them?
Not that I recall.
Not that you recall, or no?
I don't remember meeting any of them.
Your Honor, that's all I have right now.
All right, Mr. Lally, any questions?
Sure. Just a few, Your Honor.
I was unsure if she was coaching through that part because the camera didn't pan on her. But as we see Lally walking up to the podium, yes, her hand is up to her mouth, so she was absolutely coaching through Alan Jackson's cross-examination. But wait, there's more. On Alan Jackson's recross...
About how long after? A week after? A month after?
I'm not sure.
But it was more toward January 29th than it was yesterday, correct?
Correct.
I have just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Well, she seems pretty proud of herself, doesn't she? Thinks she's getting away with it. I think that's what we call duper's delight, isn't it?
Your Honor, that's all I have right now.
All right, Mr. Lally, any questions?
Sure. Just a few, Your Honor.
Just in case you had any doubt, watch where her hand is again as Lally takes the podium.
Would you see her more so during high school, the high school years, or after you graduated?
Well, probably more in high school just because you're there every day, but then afterwards, yeah, it was only here and there. Like I said, like mutual friends, so maybe events for mutual friends, I might run into her.
And to be clear,
Now we're starting to get to see the pattern. The only thing she's concerned about is Katie implicating others. As soon as the questions change to a different topic, she relaxes again.
and I think you made reference to it, but that last photograph that's marked as K, that seems to be a cropped or sort of zoomed in of a larger photo, is that right?
Yeah, yes.
So here's a question. Is Katie glancing over there to get her prompts from Beth, the sign language expert?
Now, as far as that first one that's, as far as that first
Why yes, I believe she is.
one that's, as far as social media is concerned, as far as a friends list.
Now they're waiting for the jury to come back. Just watch her hand. It's just sitting there casually. It's not moving and making pointing gestures or anything like she was doing when Katie was actually testifying.
Mayor, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. McLaughlin, thank you for your patience. When we last left off, I was asking you about your relationship with Caitlin Albert. You recall that?
Yes.
I want to ask you a few more questions about that. You and Caitlin Albert have known each other for how long?
Since high school.
You see, she doesn't want Katie to slip up and put anybody else in the poop.
Which is, give me a span of time.
So, probably about 10 years.
You have traveled with Caitlin Albert and friends. When I say traveled, I don't mean to exotic locations. I mean day trips, etc.
Yes.
You have a group of mutual friends together, correct?
Be careful now, Katie. Don't implicate your mutual friends.
We have mutual friends, correct.
Those mutual friends have gone on day trips with you and Caitlin Albert involved?
Correct.
On more than one occasion, as a matter of fact?
Correct.
On many occasions, matter of fact?
I don't know.
More than 5?
I don't know.
More than 10?
I don't know.
That hand gesture tells me that Beth approves with the I don't know answer. Watch again.
More than 5?
I don't know.
More than 10?
I don't know.
More than 10? I don't know.
You've seen photographs of you with Caitlin Albert on some of these day trips, correct?
Yes.
You've seen at least 3 of those photographs.
Yes.
You're friends with Caitlin Albert on social media?
Yes.
Other than the 3 photographs that you've seen, we just talked about, there have been other events that you've been at with Caitlin Albert that weren't necessarily photographed, or we don't have those photographs, correct?
Probably.
You know that Caitlin Albert is the same Caitlin Albert that's the daughter of Brian and Nicole Albert, as you sit here.
Yes. As I sit here today, yes.
And you know that Caitlin Albert also has siblings, Brian Albert Jr., correct?
As I sit here today, yes, I know that.
And you also know, as you sit here today, that 34 Fairview...
The friends' questions are over. Now she's relaxed again.
was, at the time of January 29th, 2022, the Albert home, correct?
I know that as of today.
And there's that duper's delight again.
You spoke with
Yes.
Proctor in this report. Till yesterday when you testified, you now know that that's the Albert home.
Yes.
That between that report that you gave to Trooper Proctor, that statement that you gave to Trooper Proctor, and yesterday's testimony, your statement has evolved. You've already admitted that, correct?
I don't think I agreed with you on that.
So, Ms. McLaughlin, you learned of those other people's names within the Albert family subsequent to your response to this call on January 29th. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you learned of those through sort of various news or media reports in relation to this case, not something that you had any conversations with anybody about, correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, if I may, I have a
Okay.
follow-up.
Okay.
You indicated, Ms. McLaughlin, that Mr. Lally just asked you about these 500 friends on social media. A couple of quick questions about that. Of those 500 friends on social media, how many of those have you taken day trips with?
I don't know.
I think it's safe to say that she was only there to coach Katie into not implicating anybody else, and I don't know if I would call that coaching or intimidation, to be honest. Anyway, I promised to tell you who she is exactly. She's none other than Erin O'Keefe's sister. Not really any relation at all to Officer John O'Keefe. So who knows why she's on Dateline speaking up for this family, other than being a classic attention seeker. But here's what we all found interesting.
What would you say to Karen Reed? I just wish you would admit what you did.
Wait, isn't that what Total Boy got arrested for? Telling people to be honest and tell the truth and admit what they did? I seem to recall multiple protesters also being arrested for saying the same thing. So, not only is this lady actually in court, actually intimidating a witness in real time, on camera, but she's also saying and doing exactly what other people have been arrested for. The bloody cheek of these people, I tell ya.